welcome to today's episode. I have the amazing Heather Connor with Saltgrass Decor today. Hi, Heather.
Hi. Thank you,
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you so much. We've been friends on Instagram for quite a while, and I love your home. I love your neutral palette and your DIYs and what you share in your stories. And I just want to say thank you for being on today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is a wonderful experience.
Yay, good. And so let's get started. We were talking a little bit pre-interview because, guys, I always do that, which is nice. And so, what kind of made you start your home decor account?
Well, interesting enough, I was on my personal account, and of course, I follow the very talented Vera Merhi.
Yeah.
And it was very early in her career, and she started this curated box of goodies that she would send you every month. And it was like the first 50 people got it for a special introductory price. And I had just moved into my new home. And so I subscribe to the box, and every month they would come and they would show you how to style it. It would be like a tea vignette or just, special little vignettes. And I subscribed to that, and I got them in the mail, and I put it together and took a photo, and I'm like, oh, this is so cute.
Yeah.
And so instead of bothering all my friends with posting pictures of these vignettes in my personal, I started a home decor Instagram. So that I could share how I styled her pieces and things like that. And so that's kind of how I started it. And I started posting pictures, and then I was like, okay, it's a new house, so I can post pictures of, decorating the house just in general.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I started it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I subscribed to Farah's when she did her subscription site too, and I got a few boxes, and it was fun. It was fun getting like decor in the mail and like, ooh.
It was awesome because you're like, oh, I get these specially curated pieces from an interior designer. Here I am, brand new house, trying to, get things to look and homey. And then these pieces are arriving, and they're beautiful. And I had a cute little coffee station with a sign, and it was precious.
Yeah,
Loved
that's
it.
great. Yeah, that's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love your home. What would you call your style? Like coastal glam? I know you say coastal.
And that's kind of, I don't know, transitional, definitely a transitional, but it's an involvement. Home decor and styles are such an involvement. I started off with a super traditional house. We moved into this house, and I had that really Mediterranean style.
Yeah.
Like the claw feet, the dark woods, and that was popular. And so when I moved into this house was more of a craftsman style, and the Mediterranean didn't really fit. It was very dark. This house is very bright with lots of windows. And so I was like, okay, I need to change the style up. So I went a little hardcore contemporary. And then I realized that was a little too simple. I like stuff, and contemporary is kind of like minimal. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work. I like stuff.
Yeah.
So then I kind of changed it up and started going a little bit more glam because I like shiny. And as it kind of evolved, the glam was good, but I had no color, so I started bringing in a little bit of the coastal, because the blue really spoke to me. So now I'm finally feeling super comfortable with the blue that I've brought in, a little bit of the coastal element, but still some of the glam, but keeping most of my furniture neutral so that I can change, because my husband, he's like, if you just keep buying furniture over and over, you bet. So I'm like, okay, any furniture I buy from here on out will be neutral. And then I can pop it with whatever color or style I ever change to.
Which is a great tip.
Yes. Buy your furniture pieces neutral, and then you can throw in accessories and colors as you change.
Pillows, throws, all the goodies.
Right. You don't have to be buying new furniture all the time. So.
Right. That's what I've learned is I have the green set in my front, and I love it. But sometimes it could be hard, especially as holidays. And
it's a design challenge.
Yeah. Surprisingly, though, I feel like some of the pieces, the colors I didn't think would go with it, went with it.
Oh wow. See, that's good because that pushes you, to try to figure out what does well with green. But I love when you're throwing other colors in with it. Like you threw a coral with the green that I personally would be like, wow, coral and green, but it
Mhm.
looked phenomenal.
Yeah, that was
It
one
was
of my
like,
favorites.
whoa, that was the contrast was just really, really good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
so it has been challenging, but it's also been fun. But yeah, definitely like my main living room completely neutral. And
Yes.
I change that out and it's so
Yes.
much easier.
It is. You can really, I mean, you popped it with orange and you popped it with blue and you've even popped it with pink. I mean, and that's kind of where I learned and it clicked. Hey, spend your money on nice, neutral pieces. Cream, if you can. If you don't,
Yeah, if you can.
cream colored sofas, cream colored chairs, things like that. And then throw your colors in with accent pillows, flowers, lamps, other things that you can resell and purchase new, but you're not having to purchase, expensive furniture, which is the bulk of the cost.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. And honestly, I did pale blue one time for my month, and you were my inspiration because I just love the pale blues in your home, like the pillows behind you. And
Yes.
recently, I loved your cutting board craft
My
from
husband's like,
DIY.
wow, you're really going blue. I said, once you get on a kick and you
Yeah,
like something, everything is going to be that color.
yeah. You're like, I could paint anything this
Yeah,
color.
you're right. And you're one of my inspirations with that spray paint, Lisa. You're like,
Oh,
hey, you can spray paint it. You
you
can
can
spray
spray,
paint it
and then you can spray paint it again.
again and again and again. You're right. And so that's kind of how I tell my husband, look, I'm going to purchase this piece, but whatever color I want to change it, it's just
Yeah,
a can of spray paint away.
yeah. Which is fun. It also brings out the creative side, which is nice.
It really is. And I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Uh-huh.
So and I don't work outside the home. So I need to budget. I need to reuse things and do DIYs and things
Mhm.
like that to help out, to get new stuff, but not necessarily be buying new stuff all the time.
Yeah, and that was the same for me. I had 3 kids, 2 years apart, and home decor was always like a passion of mine. I know he's so cute. He or she.
He's my shadow. Y'all
Oh,
see
yeah.
him in y'all see him in pictures and y'all think I staged him. I didn't stage him. If I'm in the room, he's right there.
That's cute. That's kind of like a cat. My cat
Yes.
is everywhere. But what were we talking about? We were talking about oh yeah, having kids, and I was a stay-at-home mom also, and I knew with just some paint or like if I wanted to repaint a room and change things out, like I couldn't afford to go buy a bunch of new pieces, but I still
Right.
wanted my home to look nice. So
And the most of us, I mean, for the majority of us, we can't. And especially how I change my style all the time. And so spray paint is something that, can give your stuff a new look without hiding from the husband stuff in the car for 5 or 6 days saying, oh, I've had that. What are you
yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to say the exception for me is the holidays. I do spend a lot these few months. I know my shopping tours, I look like I spend a lot and it's 50-50. Sometimes I'm like, I have to have it because I'm never going to see it again. Or the other times I walk out there with nothing, but I just wanted to like hop on and see what was in there and then share. So
Yeah, I mean, browsing is always so much fun, and you browse Ross and Hobby Lobby, and stores that you get budget friendly items from. So that doesn't break the bank.
no, it doesn't. I could pick up a few pieces and not feel bad. That,
Right,
that
right.
hair is still sticking up right there. Okay,
We got hairs, we got dogs. We're just a hot mess. Okay.
so do you have a business or any other social media accounts? I didn't think we discussed that. Is
I think
Instagram?
I don't. Instagram's my main thing. I mean, it's hooked to my Facebook, so I do Saltgrass Decor on Facebook, but mainly it's just Instagram. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just Instagram for me is just a way to share DIYs and things that I can do to spray paint,
Express
chalk
yourself.
paint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
express myself and redo stuff and hopefully empower other women to do the same
Yeah.
thing. I mean, sometimes these projects that I do, I mean, I'm scared. I'm like, I'm going to mess this up. I mean, and I don't know what I'm doing, but it's a learning process, and you just got to have the guts to say, okay, I don't like it how it is. So what's the worst thing I can do? And it's just paint. So
Right.
if I mess it up, I got to figure out how to fix it. But most of the time, it's just a learning process. My table had some brush strokes in it. I've learned to use a roller now. It's just an ever evolving learning process, and it saved me a ton of money. I mean, a lot of my pieces are chalk painted pieces that I have chalk painted. You would never believe. People are like, where can I buy that table? And I'm like, you can go get you a $50 table off Facebook Marketplace. It's round. You
Yeah.
can go buy this $5 Waverly chalk paint from Walmart, and you can paint it and you can have this table.
Yeah.
They're like, no way, you did that? I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's fun because my husband's not staring at me going, I'm like, look, this cost me $10 for some chalk paint. So, and I love sharing it with others because I mean, the messages that I get going, wow, I'm going to go dig in my house. I did a vase recently that was a free vase. It was this old dark black vase, and I gave it a facelift, and people are like, wow, I'm going to go dig in my garage for some old vases to
Yeah.
redo.
Yeah.
So that brings me the most joy, is that people are not out buying brand new stuff all day, every day, that they're digging in their garages and digging, at you like we go to Goodwill and
Yeah.
find glass. I mean, it's just fun. It expresses your creative side.
Yeah. And Goodwill, and it was yard sales for a while. I'm still not sure about heading back out to yard sales.
Yeah.
I'll pop into Goodwill, especially when I see my daughter in Scottsdale, because that's where she lives.
Mhm.
They have the
Right.
best Goodwill. Like, I'm like, oh, some nice
Is that
stuff.
the one you shared the other day
Yeah.
on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty nice.
She
My
thrifts a
Goodwill
lot.
doesn't look like that. Okay.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I got a couple really cool pieces I was excited about. I mean, they were so heavy. I'm like, I need help carrying these out. But
Yeah, those glass pieces were nice.
yeah, she thrifts a lot, and so which is cute. And then she's my little DIYer, so she'll give like things a facelift with spray paint. So
Well, I wonder where she gets it from.
I know, right? She's cute. But
Yeah.
okay, so we discussed a little earlier that we're arguing with Instagram lately, and their algorithm has been kind of, for the last few months, has not been the best, but
No.
recently it's doing a little bit better. So what are some of the struggles you've been having with Instagram?
I mean, I have always tried to grow my page organically. I want you, if you're there at my page, I want you to be there because you want to be there. I'm not a huge, I don't do a lot of giveaways. I don't do a lot of follow trains. I don't do a lot of things like that because I always want to grow organically. I want to say, you're here because you found something that I did that you liked. And so that's kind of how, but that's a slower process. I mean, it is slower. So, I mean, I've been actively on my account for close to 3 years. And there are other accounts that have zoomed right past me. And sometimes I get frustrated, but I also got to think back. Don't look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Don't look at the numbers. It's not the quantity. For me, it's the quality. It's the messages that I get on a daily basis say, your home is stunning. You inspire me. And the messages that they send me of, thank you for that tutorial for the board and batten. Look at what I did in my hallway. And I'm just like, yes. And that is why I keep going. That's why I keep posting. Those messages are what's most important to me, and why I keep Saltgrass Decor going.
Yay.
Because it can get frustrating sometimes when you worked really hard on something and it doesn't get seen.
Yeah.
Instagram won't show it, or and you get barely any likes, and you get disappointed in yourself, and you're like, wow, was that not good? You second guess yourself and say, was my picture really that bad?
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten recently, the last few weeks, I got like 200 likes on a post, which I got that when I had 500 followers.
Right.
So it gets discouraging, but I have to kind of flip it for myself and say, don't worry about the numbers, worry about the content.
Right.
And so, but the last week it's gotten a little bit better. So I'm not sure if Instagram did a little update, a little algorithm change. Goodness. But it has gotten.
They always do.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. This week I'm like, whoa, is this my account? Did I log in with the right account? What's going on? People like me?
We all love you.
Thank you.
I know it can be totally frustrating, but what you said is so true. And for smaller accounts that are just starting out, that's what they have to stay focused on. Just really good quality content. Do you be unique? We've talked about this before, and it's truly the basic number one thing you have to do on Instagram is be you, do you, and keep moving forward in the process. For some others, yeah, I've had friends who were behind me and that now have 100,000 followers more than me. And, I applaud them. They're doing great work. But I too have been on this platform for 2.5 years. And I'm like,
right. I mean, it can give you a lot of emotions. You can get, you can kind of get sidetracked by that. And you're like, well, gosh, am I doing enough? Why? And then you see other accounts that aren't doing anything. Here you are, basically deconstructing your hallway or a bedroom and woodworking and paint and all this. And they're sharing pictures of pretty vases and they're like 50,000 followers ahead of you. And then you kind of get like, why am I putting all this work into it if it's not getting seen? But I have to keep focused and saying that one message of, you really inspire me. Thank you for doing what you do. That's it for me. That's what keeps me going.
And don't you feel like those messages come almost at the right time where you
they do
super frustrated?
They do. I'm ready to put Instagram down. I'm like, I'm done because you guys know we aren't getting rich off Instagram. Of course, I know. I don't know. There may be some getting rich.
No, we're not. I'm not yet.
I ain't getting rich.
If I got rich off Instagram, I might not be on it as much.
Totally agree. So so it's not the money, it's definitely the people. And you get these people that you follow, these Instagrammers, they become like your friends, your real friends. And you love to see their daily activities and their daily things. I mean, we've never met, but I mean, I know your bird and your bunny rabbit and your cat, and I know Steve, and we kind of just follow each other's lives, and it's a good community. It's a good community of women and men, and being backed by this community is fun. Definitely fun.
It is. It's like I tell my friends, I'm like my IG friends,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, when I talk,
I don't say IG friends. I'll just say my friends, and they'll look at me like, I'm your friend.
Yes. When I say I have a podcast with my friend Lisa today, and they're like, oh, who's Lisa? I'm like, Lisa on Instagram. They're like,
no, we don't know.
No, we don't know Lisa, Heather.
I know. It's truly like, I feel so blessed. Because it does take a while to find your tribe and find people that you can connect with. And I love how I feel like the people that I've been fortunate enough to meet, like you and others, genuinely just commenting, liking, and just growing friendships and messaging over time. And I think people need to realize that, like, you will find your tribe, you'll find people like you, you'll find people who will help you, you'll find people you can vent to. And because it's not always easy, and then you'll find people that will lift you up and support you just like you'll do for them.
And it will. And if you're having, if a friend sees you struggling, I mean, a friend of mine saw me the other day being really frustrated with Instagram, and she took the time out of her day to just share me, that's all it takes, is a friend sharing you. And you're like, thank you so much. I mean, it really does hit home when people take time out of their day to do something to help you.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a great community to be a part of. And plus, we've done some really cool things together. Like we did the video for the pandemic when that came out, and all of us were holding our signs, and it was just really emotional and just a really powerful moment. So a lot comes out of it.
I got smacked in the face a lot by Steve, but I'm like, how did I get the one dropping on my face?
Oh, that was funny. That's funny. It was just, it's fun for me to be able to look back and see the things that, I was able to be a part of a community like that. So
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. So we
Mhm.
talked a little bit about, and you said we could talk about this a little
Yes.
bit, that you do have a little bit of anxiety, and that you're hesitant to come on the podcast,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that sometimes it impacts like going on stories and things like that, and I wanted to share with you that I've asked other people and I've heard the same. And what I love about Instagram is it allows people to express themselves even though they're going through other things in their life. So
Correct. Yes. I do suffer from social anxiety somewhat. I use the term shy because it's, a little bit more downplayed, but in actuality, it's a little bit of social anxiety. And so it's the craziest place to be when you have social anxiety is on social media.
yeah, yeah, putting
It's
yourself out there.
completely like, what? You have social anxiety, but you're on social media. I know. It's crazy how things work out. But I feel like sometimes the source of your anxiety can be used as sort of therapy for it. I wake up every day and I do the one thing that gives me the most anxiety.
Mhm.
And it's not, and that's why I don't do stories a whole lot, because I really have to push myself. I don't think anybody knows. I've never actually spoken about it on stories because of my anxiety.
Yeah.
I've never sat down and say, hey guys, this is why I don't share my face a whole lot, is because it really is hard for me. I really have to, push myself, which is fine because I know that pushing yourself is a good thing. So yeah, I never would have believed that you would say I would be a social media person.
You're a social media
Never.
influencer. And
There you go. I can't wrap my head around it when people say that and they're just like, oh wow. I'm like, what? No. I just share pretty pictures. So never would I have guessed that I would have done this. Never. But I love it. I love it. I push myself to do stories. I'm pushing myself to be here because at first I was like, I can't do this. I almost canceled and said, Lisa, I can't do this. I can't put myself in front of a camera. This is too much. But my husband, who is a really good sounding board for me, was like, no, you can do this. You always say you can't. And then when you do it, you are so ecstatic and you're so proud of yourself. You're like, I did that. I did it.
Mhm.
And so he's right. He's right. When I do something and I push myself, I'm so excited and I feel great. So I'm thinking that that's how I'm going to be feeling today, is I pushed myself and I'm going to be feeling great.
Well, I so appreciate you sharing that because, like I said, there's a lot of women and men on here that are feeling the same way. And, they come on here to express themselves, to share, and to also heal themselves and to push themselves in so many different ways. And I just want to say thank you for sharing that because you're going
Thank
to help a lot
you.
of people.
I hope so. And I hope that, like I said, I hope it helps educate other people in the fact that just because, if you have social anxiety as well, doesn't mean that you can't do this. If you have a passion for home decor and you have a passion for DIYs and you have a passion for that, just do it, because pushing yourself to the limits, it will make yourself so much better as a person because you'll be proud of what you've done. You are staring your anxiety in the face and saying, I'm not letting you stop me from doing what I like to do. And I like to do home decor and I like to do DIYs. So I'm here and I'm staying.
Yay, that gave me goosies. Well, I am so thankful you said yes. And I am so thankful that you're my friend. And thank you so much for sharing your design journey, sharing what you have been going through, sharing your gorgeous home on a day-to-day basis. And thank you for being on my podcast today.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. This meant a lot to me that you chose me to have on your show. So I'm grateful and thanks so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I just love you, and I always have from day one.
Thank
So
you.
happy to have you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.